There be bilge water in the drinking water. Today be vlog day 941.
It's Wednesday, and it's Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Yesterday was tacos. Today won't be tacos. I don't know what today's gonna be. We're off to a great start here. Today is a very special day in a way, because whatever photo I post today is gonna be my 3,000th photo of the day. I've been posting a photo every day online for 3,000 days in a row. I was gonna say 3 years, but it's much longer than that. It's more like 8 or 9 years. I don't even know how long it's been. Probably should look that up. And there's a lot of pressure. But there's not that, okay. So I thought I'd tell you the story of why I started posting a photo every day, where that happened, and then kind of all the places that it's wandered over the years, how it's related to my vlog, and how it's related to going and getting coffee right now, so that, I'll be that much better of a presenter as I go. I gotta go meet Kate, give her some stuff that got sent back to us, as well as some goldfish that Dixie sent, because Kate's favorite snack is goldfish, I'm pretty sure. It's really high up there at least. And then, let's talk about the photo per day thing. Probably not the best way. Oh, hold on. 3,000 days ago. It was almost 10 years ago. December, 15th of 2010, something like that? I always forget the date that I actually started, which is why I marked it on a calendar. You can probably look it up. But the reason I started was because I just moved to South Africa 2 weeks prior to join Mercy's ships. Well, the ship was in dry dock, and I knew that if I didn't do something, I was gonna start forgetting things. I wasn't gonna do a very good job of journaling, that's for sure. I'm not a very good or disciplined journaler. And I also wanted to do something that I could share, something that my friends and family back home could follow if they wanted to keep up to date as to where I was, what I was doing. And I figured posting a photo a day was not a bad way to do that. And it built up over time, and I'd end up with a collection of things that I could share, print, distribute. Crazy to think that was almost 10 years ago.
I don't care, I'm not paying attention. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Good chats with Kate and delicious coffee as always. I'm gonna go for a short stroll here, then I'm gonna go home and I'm just gonna rest all afternoon because I need to be resting more. Apparently, it's all catching up to me. Kate agreed. Kate was like, maybe it's because you make a video every day and post a photo every day and never stop and never rest. And I was like, that's probably part of it. When I started doing the photo a day, I didn't know how long I would do it for. I figured I wanted to do it for the entire time I was with Mercy Ships. So I knew I'd do it for at least a couple years. And then I got into the habit of it and I just never stopped. Posting a photo every day is definitely a discipline. Sometimes it requires some forethought, like today. I put a little bit of forethought into what I'm gonna do today. And sometimes it's just a last minute blitz. And honestly, some of those last minute photos are the ones that I remember the most fondly, that stand out the most in my mind. One of them, which I'll try to dig up, but I can describe for you, is a shot straight down the hallway or the corridor in the ship just outside my cabin. And it's one that I took because I got in bed at 11:30 or something like that, realized I hadn't taken and posted a photo for the day, got up just in time and just took that photo and posted it. And at the time it felt like I was cheating because I was like, well, this isn't anything notable, doesn't really say much about my day. I didn't put any real thought or effort into this. I felt kind of like I had let myself down. But looking back, it's absolutely one of my favorite photos that I've done, largely because it is mundane. And it's a reminder of the environment in which I lived that I would never have taken if I'd been trying to make a photo, trying to make a memory out of it. So a lot of times those last minute mundane photos are my favorites by far, just because they capture life as it really is. Even if it's not something that's necessarily going to appeal to a broad audience, it's good for the memories. And ultimately, I'm the main audience for the project. I started, I thought maybe the project itself was actually something that would be noteworthy. Like, if I can keep this going for a really long time, maybe people will naturally care. But the fact of the matter is that it was one of those things that helped me to come to terms with the fact that just living your life and doing your own thing isn't necessarily its own noteworthy adventure. And like I said, it also helped me to realize that the value of it was in making it for myself, in maintaining a record for myself, in maintaining a discipline, in continuing to do something that I actually kind of enjoyed, and that it pushed me and challenged me, and when I paid attention to it, actually got me out and doing something that I probably wouldn't be doing otherwise. And so I oscillated between just trying to capture whatever happened that day to trying to capture something that was a little bit more artistic, back and forth, and sometimes getting it kind of confused with what the real purpose was. And that kind of moves us between, well, before I tell you about my 2000th photo of the day, I should probably tell you the story about my 1000th, just to get it out there. We'll go from there. But before we do, there's a new Space Invader over here, right near Sacré-Cœur, and apparently a school. When I hit my 1000th photo of the day, I was actually back in the Congo doing my favorite job on the ship that I ever had while I was on the ship, which was being the media liaison. Basically, the way that a fire drill works on the ship is everybody has to get off except for emergency teams. Emergency services teams like firefighters and medics, whatever else, stay on board, run through some simulations, do some training, and then everybody comes back on. So literally the entire crew outside of those people ends up on the dock waiting for like 30 to 45 minutes in the sun. It's kind of miserable. But what I thought I would do is before the whole thing happened, I would draw out a giant 1000 on the dock, like giant numbers, 1000, and then after the whole thing was over, get up on deck and ask everybody to line up on the chalk. I'd take a photo of the entire crew of the Africa Mercy standing on the chalk lines and get my big 1000 photo. That was my plan. I was really excited. I was pretty sure I could pull it off, and then my boss asked me not to do it because she was worried that it would have like weird political implications on the ship, and I shouldn't have listened to her. It's one of the instances I definitely should not have listened to her. I should have just gone ahead and done it, and I regret it to this day. Like, I did it out of respect for her, so I don't regret it from that angle, but I regret it from not getting that photo. I thought it'd be a great photo, and after that, not getting anything special for my 1000th photo, at least not as special as I wanted to get, kind of felt a little disappointed and took a little bit of the pressure off, but also kind of put the pressure back on in a way. And significantly upped it when we got to 2000, now that I think about it. So walking away from that 1000 scenario left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And when the 2000 mark rolled around, I was like, I gotta do something big. Like, I gotta change everything. And that's when I started vlogging every day, which you can go see the original, like the very first vlog a day, 1,000 days ago now. And that's also crazy to think that I've been vlogging for 1,000 days, even though I took a break between seasons 1 and 2. That's why the 2-month-long discrepancy in the numbers, and we're not at vlog a day 1,000 yet. Almost there. But I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to vlog. I've been wanting to vlog daily. I'm gonna time this to coincide with my 2000th vlog of the day. And then vlog a day 1 will be on photo a day 2001, and we'll just keep moving from there. What's been interesting to see is how everything has evolved from that point, because vlogging is a much better record of my daily life than the photo of the day ever was. Actually, if you go back, a lot of the photos that I took over the course of a photo a day, you look at it and it's just like, that doesn't really tell me anything about the day, and you didn't write much of a caption. So I don't really know what's happening there. And I don't know, I guess I kind of have an idea of where you were, but I don't really know what's going on. And that's one of the dissatisfactions of doing a photo a day, was that it was nice to highlight one thing in the day, assuming I highlighted something, but also if I wanted to take a photo just that was a nice photo of something and post that to Instagram, you know, it wasn't necessarily something that was actually much of a record of what happened that day, how I felt, where I was, who I was with, what I ate, where I went. All those things are kind of left out of the photo a day. And now that I have my vlog a day, a lot of those questions get answered naturally just by, you know, participating in that. And that's one of the reasons that I love vlogging every day, and it makes it really hard to think about toning that back in the future, which is something that I'm definitely thinking about for the 4th season, not doing it every day. Mostly for my personal well-being, of course, for both my sanity and my physical health. I'm freaking exhausted, and I think that's partially because I need to take a little bit more time to rest than I have been, which is why I just took a nap, and it was, I think, mostly helpful. But the evolution has really, really changed. It's funny looking back, thinking like, oh, I can't wait to get to a point where people know about this thing and they follow it and they're into my photo a day. And I think that there are people that are like that, but I think it's more of a novelty than it is something that people like look at and go, oh yeah, I know what's going on with Jay's photo every day. The reason that I think about that is because I remember thinking like, Like, I can't wait to get to the point where I can shorten it to just be like 1PD and then the number, something like that, instead of typing out photo per day every day, photo/day every day. Because that was getting, I remember getting kind of annoyed with how long that took for some reason. And I was like, it'll be cool when I can have my own shorthand. That's just never gonna happen. And then to fast forward to now, where I look at it as a discipline that I appreciate, as a way of trying to make sure that I'm consistently looking outside of myself and trying to capture something from the day, but also is kind of like this, I don't want to go so far as to say that it's this unnecessary part of what I'm doing, but the vlog has really rendered it into its own thing, because the vlog very much better takes care of capturing every day than the photo a day ever did. And to the point that for a while there, I was just taking screen caps from the videos that I was taking and posting those as my photos instead of taking original photos, which is something that I'm definitely trying to pull back again and take better photography and push myself to really take advantage of it. It ends up being a real push and pull back between the two, because now I want to make sure that I'm actually taking quality photos regularly and posting those for the sake of improving my own photography and actually growing in that art form. And it's less a way of recording my days and more a way of trying to dive back into photography. Not one that I'm very consistent at still. I still end up having to kind of cheat my way through some days. And another thing that nobody really notices, at least nobody's ever told me that they've noticed it, is that there's actually a column of me on Instagram. When I went through a really bad breakup a few years ago, starting on that trip, I posted a photo of myself, and every third photo for a few weeks, I feel like, ended up having me in it. At least it happened 3 or 4 times. I was like, you know what? I wonder how long I can keep this going. And I kept it going up until now. I have cheated. I think there's one photo that I'm actually not in, and then every other one has either some part of me in it, like my hands or my face, or while we were in India, I did put a couple albums up. But you'll see in that column, whether it's a video or a photo, like you can scroll for a long time on Instagram, and I am in every photo going back for a few years. That kind of speaks to where this whole project has maintained its life, is that I tend to take these challenges and run with them, and I don't know when and where to let go of them, because I kind of like the fact that I can keep it going. And so why not keep it going until I can't for whatever reason, or until I come up with a good reason to stop. So I was thinking about stopping posting on Facebook, because I really don't like Facebook. I was thinking about stopping something for my 3,000th photo of the day. And at the end of the day, you know what? I just haven't given it enough thought to really feel like committed to doing anything like that. So maybe we'll just have to wait till photo a day 4,000. I don't know. But I'm really, really grateful that I've been able to keep it going, that it's been something that I've really, really enjoyed. It takes a little bit of extra thought and energy, I suppose, but not that much, especially when you compare it to making a video every day, and then taking a photo a day is nothing. It's just like kind of like my end of day ritual when I open up my photo editing apps. And like, for those of you who are going to ask, I edit with Snapseed and ViscoCam. I always do them in that order. I always edit the photo with Snapseed first, and then with Visco or VSCO, or however you're supposed to pronounce that, and then I post it to Facebook and Instagram automatically posts it to Twitter with if this then that, because Instagram doesn't post photos to Twitter anymore because they hate each other and because the internet's stupid sometimes. And that's how that whole thing runs. It's something that I intend to keep doing for the foreseeable future. I don't intend to stop that. Even if I do take a break from vlogging at the end of this season, I'll keep posting a photo every day just because I can't help myself, up until the point, I suppose, I decide that I really do want to stop. But I don't know what that looks like necessarily. It's not something that I'm even thinking about right now, but I guess it's out there, because I get asked about this all the time. People ask me all the time if and when I'm going to quit doing what I'm doing. And there you go. If you're thinking about posting a photo every day, making a daily vlog, whatever it is, I would say just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't tell anybody you're gonna do it. Just do it and start telling people about it, after you've set up a track record for yourself. It takes a little bit of the pressure off and helps you to see if you really can do it. I know a lot of people try and end up not doing it for a while. My dad, however, has been he's over 400 days now. He started doing his pick a day, and it's been really nice to see him doing that. But here are a few things that I've learned in the process, if you need any insights. 1, write better captions. That's what I would tell myself over time. I definitely wish that I had spent more time writing better captions about what happened that day, about whatever. Obviously, I'm not worried about that anymore because I vlog every day, but if you're gonna do the photo a day, try to write decent captions. 2, don't feel like you have to produce anything of extremely high quality or that's artistically wonderful, anything. Just get a photo up. And sometimes the most mundane photos are gonna be your favorite photos down the line. And 3, I guess, would just be if you're gonna be successful at posting a photo every day or whatever, just make it part of your routine. For me, it's something that I do right before I go to bed. It's one of the last things I do every night, edit and post my photo. Whether or not I've thought it through in advance, I definitely try to just make sure that I do it right before I go to bed. And that's as much a function of anything as just not knowing if I'm gonna stumble across across a better photo by the end of the day. So it's always good to have multiple photos by the end of the day to choose one, and then just choose one. And if you're struggling to choose one in the moment, don't worry. You're not even gonna remember you took those photos later in life, and maybe there'll be pleasant surprises when you go back through your photos later. That brings me to my last piece of advice, which would be to archive things better than I have. Save like them explicitly well titled, and like export them into a specific folder, whether that's on Dropbox or somewhere else that you can actually keep them all lined up, ideally with the captions somewhere. I wish that I had done that this whole time so that I had easy access to all of them instead of spreading them out across a bunch of social networks. But you know, someday I'll get that taken care of, I suppose, when I've got a bunch of free time to, you know, sit around and download a bunch of photos. Oh man, that's not good. But yeah, try to keep the high resolution versions saved somewhere with your captions. You'll appreciate it later. I wish that I had done that. Anywho, that's a little bit about my photo a day thing. Today is day 3000, like I said. And if you want to hop over to Instagram to see what I chose, go for it. But I'm actually going to do something that kind of sticks with this. Like the whole idea that really ultimately the photo a day thing is for me first. It's something to remember where I was at, what I was doing. And I think I'm going to go ahead and celebrate it by taking a pretty terrible photo of a really nice photo and putting that up instead of like, I took a couple of nice photos today, but we're just gonna go with that. I think it'll be the way to go. And also to diffuse the pressure, because apparently there are a bunch of people that think that I'm gonna be doing something exceptionally like outlandish today for it, and all I really wanna do is take a nap. So, you know what? I'm gonna be a slave to the nap, not a slave to the photo a day. But I'm still gonna get the photo a day done, because I'm still sort of indentured to it. Anywho, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever it is you are. We are having some blue skies right now. I can actually even see the moon out there in the blue sky, which is really nice. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for a Wednesday in Paris, and hopefully getting myself put back together and well organized to really launch things towards the end of February and into March. You'll see. It'll all come together. See you tomorrow. Figured that was not so bad that time. Editor's note, that's me, Jay the editor. I just did the math. I think I'm actually a little premature on the whole 3000 mark, but whoops, that's what happens. Actually, annually what I would do is I would do like a little accounting and figure out like what day it was, and every year when I came to the anniversary, reset the date, because it's actually really easy to either bump back or bump up the number a little bit and get ahead or behind every year, and I would do that by a few days every year, and looks like I did that again the last 2 years, but I didn't adjust it because I was doing my vlog a day and I thought that I was being accurate. The nice thing about having the vlog is that I'm definitely accurate with that every day. And back when they coincided like a year and a half ago and they were the exact same number every day, I always knew exactly what number I was on. But yeah, anywho, either way, we're just gonna call today the 3000th, and then next year at December, I will reset the number to whatever it should be at, and we'll pretend that never happened, I suppose. That ends today's editor's note for an end screen. How do you like that? I'll see you tomorrow.